Hello, my name is Ruby Munoz, and I'm going to be presenting about consumerism and plastic pollution. Now, we're going to start with the history of plastic. So, in 1869, John Wesley invents the first form of plastic, which was not a truly synthetic plastic, but it did mimic ivory, so it was able to save elephants from being poached and the use of tortoises for their shells. Then we move forward to 1907, where Leo Baekeland creates the first truly synthetic polymer. So the plastic that Baekeland created is more similar to the plastic that we know today. And just a side note, we call it a truly synthetic polymer because polymers are also found in nature in the form of cellulose. Now, after World War II, Baekeland's material was promoted as the material of 1,000 uses. The material of 1,000 uses was a fitting way to advertise the use of plastic. Now, after the 1950s, we did start growing into a consumer-based society. And for those of you that don't know, consumerism can be described as a society that focuses or has an obsession with shopping and gaining more and more artifacts while not taking into consideration if they could reuse things or repurpose things. So rather than reuse, reduce, recycle, they would much rather just prove that they have the most money or go and buy the newest best thing even if they have a working item. And besides that, we also had a big boom in the 1980s in consumerism because of two-income households. And since then, we have become a convenience-based society where it's much easier to throw in a TV dinner into the microwave or prep your meals for the week than it is to go to the store and buy the fresh meat for the day. That in itself does create more use of plastic. Okay, so now on to the effects of plastic pollution. First of all, I would like all of you to know that plastic takes up to 1,000 years to decompose. And sometimes even when it appears to have decomposed, it can actually present itself as a microplastic. Now, microplastic can be microscopic. There's also tiny pieces of plastic that look like food to some animals, mostly birds. So those birds that do eat those microplastics, they put themselves in danger because they think that those plastics are their prey. So they continue eating these plastics until their stomachs become full because they're not able to fully digest these plastics. So they eventually die. And sometimes, even if their stomach's not completely full, because of trying to eat the plastics, they can choke because they could block their airway. Now, microplastics have been found in birds and turtles and many other marine animals. However, recently in 2018, microplastics were found in the human digestive system. Now, that is alarming, but this is a new study, so it doesn't show what effects having microplastics in our system could have. It does say that microplastics can be so small that they can enter our bloodstream and reach our liver, but there has been no other research. There has been no conclusive research yet on what the effects of that plastic can be. So for prevention, it's better to use reusable water bottles, preferably not made out of plastic, even BPA-free ones, because they have found microplastics in bottled waters. So also there has now been alternative polymers used, like cellulose. For example, there is a doctor in Mexico, I believe, that has created a biodegradable bag out of a material in the cactus, which I'm gonna assume it's cellulose. Now, another good way to prevent the spread of plastic pollution is to use glass containers. Glass containers is the most old-fashioned way that you could do this. I know some people correlate mason jars with hipsters, but really it's the most economical and easy way to save your food, your materials, anything you could think of. Really, you could meal prep a salad in there or some overnight oats. Now, there's also biodegradable bags that you could buy that would decompose in days or weeks rather than in 1,000 years. And it's also just recommended not to buy single-use materials, no matter how tempted you are or how convenient it is. And I know that could be hard, especially for people that have kids or big families. Sometimes it's easier to just say, hey, you know what, I don't have the time for this, and buy plastic cups, plastic plates, plastic forks and spoons. However, it's important to keep in mind that we do want to preserve this planet for the people that we are feeding, for the people that we care about. We want to make sure that they have some sort of planet to look back on in the next generations. Now we're going to be moving forward to the conclusion. So, in conclusion, I do want to add that plastic is not the only adversary for the environment that we are facing and that we're contributing to. There is other materials. I did choose to focus on plastic because I do believe that based on our consumerism point of view, we just keep buying it and tossing it away, and we're not taking into consideration the planet that we're leaving for future generations. And it's just important to remember that it is our planet and it is the only planet. So, thank you for your time.